Hello, Paulina. How are you?
Thank you. How are you today?
I'm cold.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But I have a hoodie, gloves and coffee, so I'm ready for everything.
Everything? You sure?
I think.
Okay. All right. Well, today we are going to talk about exposure. So, Paulina, previously I talked about the exposure triangle, the aperture, the shutter speed and ISO or film speed. If you haven't checked it, please go back and check all our previous episodes. We'll talk about all these triangles already. So now we talk about exposure and scene illumination. So how bright, the scene is being lit by natural or artificial light.
What is scene illumination?
Scene illumination is how bright the scene is being lit by either natural or artificial light.
Okay.
Or actually I think that I did Google it, so there is a more kind of fixed way of saying it. The scene illuminance is fixed at the time when the photograph is taken. So when the photographer clicks the shutter button, that's the time of exposure or time of illuminance. And then obviously the photographer will have to decide whether he wants to use the correct shutter speed or settings based on the exposure triangle to achieve certain result that he or she desires.
How do you know if you have a perfect exposure?
Oops, they fly in front of me. Well, there's no, in my book anyway, there's no such a thing as perfect exposure. I mean, I would call it the well-balanced or well-exposed photograph. I say that because photographer, like I mentioned earlier, photographer actually may want to achieve certain distinctive style or effects that he or she may want. So I can talk about this in the future episodes, which is like about high key or low key photos. You might have heard of it. Like low key is like the scene is basically virtually black and it's being lit by certain bits of the subject to get a very, very kind of dark scene. Or overexposed, like that's basically complete opposite. You overexpose the whole thing, you only see certain details of the subject. It's not really such a thing as perfect exposure as such. It really depending on the photographer.
It's very personal.
It's quite personal, yes. Also, for a commercial shoot, for instance, if commercial architectural shoot, so like the end viewers want to see everything, the building or certain subjects, and the photographer will have to achieve a very balanced exposure, so they can see the details, they can see the highlight, they can see everything in the scene, so they can pick up all the details to see the design of the building as such. So yeah, it's really depending on what you use the image for.
Makes sense.
Anyway, if you're still confused, go back to our previous episode, check about the definition or the meaning of aperture, shutter speed and ISO, the exposure triangle. Play around with it with your camera, set it in menu mode, play around with it to see what you think about the relationship between them. I think the best way is to practice and keep shooting.
And listen to Jimmy.
Listen to me.
If you like our videos, please subscribe us. Bye.